What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. And today we're going to be talking about the best chems and abilities ready for use right now for you that will make your team so much better. Alright, so you guys have been asking a lot of different questions. You guys, if you haven't been around long enough, you should know at this point that I did raid sell Michael Vick. And it was very, very good reason for it. And I'm really, really liking the way Troy Aikman plays. So if you were able to get your hands on Troy Aikman, you'll see like the field general. I believe that that's like the field general symbol. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But he's very, very specific with the way he throws the ball. And he's extremely accurate. So I'm going to start off with the quarterback position. And we're going to go into Saquon Barkley. When it comes to linemen, you know, we're going to have to vary based on, you know, if you're going through the John Madden coach situation over here. You know, it depends on if you're going to be going that route, if you are grinding the game for that, or if you're just using the regular chemistries like lockdown, power run, zone run, all that good stuff, all right? We'll go over all of that. But I'm going to touch specifically on Troy Aikman because this is what you guys have been pounding me for. Like, yo, bro, you got to tell me, why is he that good? What is he doing? All right, first things first, I Papa freaks all the honeys. Rest in peace to Biggie Smalls. But I'm going to show you guys a couple things. Number one, you can see right now that I don't have a superstar X Factor on him, but I have abilities. The number one reason for that is, you know, the superstar X Factor abilities are kind of overrated, and in certain cases, it doesn't usually do much. But I will tell you this, though, right? The best one that's available to me that I think is good is the bazooka, because you actually visibly see a difference, because they make all the throw powers from like 90 to 95, well, 90 to 94, because I had Michael Vick at a 94, and he threw the same way as the guy that I had at a 90. So unless you activate bazooka, they don't really let you throw the ball the full distance. Okay, everything else that's here, I don't really see, you know, how many people are you going to play that is going to be letting the AI try to intercept you? Like, most people are going to click on at this point because they know that you're really not going to get any love if you don't click on. So if you wanted to use something, I would recommend bazooka. At this point right now, you know, for the purposes of the video, I'm going to go ahead and put it on him. But again, you don't really need it because for the most part, even when you have it activated, like I said, have I seen a dramatic difference in the way that they throw it with bazooka activated? In some cases, you can say yeah, but you know, once you got 90 to 94 right now, that seems to be the same. 95 I haven't seen, but I'm assuming that 95 and going up is probably going to be the same thing because that's just the way that they're working it, all right? Now, let me explain to you what is so important about Identifier and why I would recommend using it on Troy Aikman. Remember, these are all my recommendations. I'm giving you the best abilities and chemistries based on what I've seen and my experience. Identifier makes it's a huge disadvantage to the defense. Because if you have a guy that's like blitz heavy and he wants to be on a certain player and he's trying to take away a certain part of the field, you see who that player's on before the ball is hiked. Also, for running, I would recommend that you run towards the way that the player is, you know, like whoever your opponent has highlighted, I would recommend that you run towards that person because you put a lot of pressure on him trying to make a tackle. And it opens up the field to you tremendously to be able to see what your opponent is doing pre-snap. Because you can kind of figure if they're like switching zones, because most people don't use the quick links. Me, I use the quick links. I'll double tap Y and do my secondary. I'll double tap the directional pad and, you know, do my linebackers and my D linemen, and I don't usually go to the individual player so that the player doesn't know what I'm doing, because you can do everything from just quick links, you know. But if your player is a guy that likes to like click on the different players and actually, you know, put this guy in man, put this guy in zone, it also helps because you can see how they're cycling through and be able to tell exactly what they're going to do, and then it makes it a lot easier for you to make your reads. Conductor. Being able to call 2 hot routes before you get to the line of scrimmage is a no-brainer. I've been telling you guys this for a while. Very, 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 very good ability to have in Madden. Since they took away the ability to just do 1,000 at the beginning before the snap. That used to be hot. How many of you guys remember that? You be coming to the line and you did like 30 hot routes? Bro, if you remember it, just write hot routes. Those were like the best Maddens, bro. I would come out, have everybody blocking, one guy doing a cross. Like, it was insane. I see why they had to stop it, but, you know, I do miss it. And then finally, Hot Route Master. If you don't have Hot Route Master and your player can get it, you're doing it wrong. And that's pretty much what it is. You are absolutely 100% doing it wrong because this just opens up the entire field. Now, it's very, very difficult to pass on a regular basis. This makes it easier. Having post routes, in routes, all kinds of routes with the routes, it completely renders the defense useless if you know how to do, certain abilities to your players. It just renders them absolutely useless. It is bro, when you have dudes lined up wanting to play man-to-man every play or whatever like that, or whatever, a lot of zone, you start hitting them with post-out routes, it makes it very, 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 very difficult to deal with. And they can do it for any of the players, the tight ends, the wide receivers, etc., etc. So it's a very, very beautiful thing to have. So these are my 3 recommended ones. Okay, I highly recommend these 3. If you go to it and you start to look at other things like Pass Lead Elite and things of that nature, I tried this out for you guys, and again, I didn't really see that much to make it my 3rd tier. You see what I'm saying? I went with this. But this does give you a lot more lead on the inside. Like if you're inside throwing, the Pass Lead Elite it's very, very noticeable. Everything else, like lead passing up and everything like that, I didn't really see that much of a difference. So that's just my opinion on that. I would go with Pass Lead Elite, Conductor, and Identifier. All right? That's pretty much for that situation right there. Now, as we go through the rest, Saquon Barkley. Did I put an X Factor on him? A Superstar X Factor? I might have to put a Superstar X Factor on him. But let's go ahead and we're going to check out some things with him right now. Saquon Barkley, the #1 reason why I gave up Gale Sayers was because of Leapfrog, and then EA Sports nerfed it immediately because people were complaining about it, that it was too OP. For me, it's not. Because if you want to go for a hit stick, that's when you're going to get hurdled, and that's the way it happens in real football. I did see some video footage with them just hurdling over like standing guys. Obviously, that's wild, but again, this is a very, very glitchy ability to have on your player. Evasive. Do I need to tell you anything about this? Like, if you don't have evasive, what you doing? Like, whatever you're doing it wrong. I do want to point out that Jukebox and Spin Cycle is a combination of, evasive. So I wouldn't go individual with these unless you couldn't get it done. You know what I'm saying? If that's something that you wanted to, pretty much get done, I would just go and just spend it on evasive and just call it a day. Everything else that's there, I have other methods that I'm going to be looking into very, very soon that I'll touch on. But if you have a Saquon Barkley, Leapfrog is something that if you are one-on-one and the player is not Tillman, you're probably going to be able to jump over him. If it's Tillman, you're probably going to fumble. Those top 2 right there are the ones that I prefer. Again, it all depends on what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's something that it's like, you know what, I don't really want to add all this because I'm not going to be jumping around like an idiot, that's fine. You don't have to, get yourself to a situation where it's kind of weird and, you're just trying to mimic what everybody else is doing. I'm just pointing out that Leapfrog, when it was first released, was very, very ideal when it was only one defender to beat. You could just jump right over him if he was going for a hit stick in most situations. So as far as Superstar X Factors, the reason that I don't have one on them is because I wanted, like Fright Train is pretty good. Wrecking Ball and stuff like that, like high success rate on the next 3 trucks and stiff arms. It's weird because you can't really, I don't really know how to explain it, but like if you press the stiff arm with like a guy with like Saquon Barkley that's an evasive by nature, in the top left you see the lightning bolt, he's evasive. They don't really give you the animation that they would give somebody else like a Jim Brown or a Bo Jackson. And I'm just saying that based on the experience because I had the full Legend Bo Jackson, and I saw the differences. When you put it on somebody that's evasive, it doesn't work the same. This one right here, the first one free, it might be the better one for somebody like a Saquon Barkley, because I had this on, I believe, Marcus Allen, and it was really, really good because he usually would get that first fake out. Rack him up, I don't care about that. And then Fright Train with, increased chance to break the next tackle attempt. It all depends. If you're just looking to like break the tackle, if you want to run into him, but I would more or less kind of focus on something like this because he's evasive. So he has the juke, he has the spin and everything like that. And it kind of guarantees that it's going to amp you up a little bit. So again, for the purposes of the video, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on Saquon Barkley just to make it so it's easier and everybody knows what's going on. All right. And then we'll go ahead and we'll back out of that. Now, as we go forward with the wide receivers, this is the one thing that I'm going to tell you right now. Randy Moss, if you get him to double me, that's the only way to make him really, really fun. Okay? The double me is a glitch simply because they brought it back to like Madden 16 days. Okay, so once it goes up, once you get this highlighted, if it's one-on-one coverage and you throw a pass up, they are going to give your player the advantage. And I've been mossed out of my mind playing this game. It's absolutely insane the way that it goes on. As far as the other abilities for wide receiver other than streak specialist, if you have like a Torrey Holt and you want to put slot apprentice on him, if you don't have hot route master, you can go ahead and do that. But to be honest with you guys, there aren't a lot of other things other than streak specialist that's popping. And remember, you can't stack it with yourself, so you just be careful with that. The post routes and stuff like that, if you wanted to dabble with that, but I don't like the fact that they don't really give you a lot of other options other than specific routes. Like, I'm not gonna put him in, I'm not gonna put him in the slot and stuff like that. In specialist, like I need somebody without, like, if he had the out route, I don't know if he has the out route. Well, these slants, well, this is the in specialist, catching on in routes. See, I don't know if they have the out routes or whatever like that, but let me see something. Let me just keep going down and seeing what they're doing. Oh, he's gonna be able to get that? Well, eventually, I guess. Yeah, out corner elite. So you got the out, yeah, the on out corner elite. So these out here, these corner routes, that's something that would work if you were running around with a player like Randy Moss and you're gonna have a guy with hot route master, like who I have right now with Troy Aikman. Those out routes are pretty much the only way to beat a lot of the coverages. So that's something that, I would probably say you could go after. If you were asking, like, if it's something that I would recommend, yes, because of the way that they play with it. Everything else that goes on within the game, though, it's very, very difficult to be able to assess. Because like with the post route, why does it look like that? Better route running and catching on post routes. It's like weird. It's like they want you to pay for everything that your players are supposed to naturally do. It just seems weird. But they don't have the out one on Randy. You could go through your players and see, but I do know that I've heard good feedback on like in route, like the in specialist and all that stuff. I've heard good news on it. So maybe it does work and get better separation. But I'm just going to tell you right now, streak specialist, even though it has been nerfed, would probably be the best abilities to have. Now, when you look over here and you see what I have, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, those are the positions that I would recommend that you focus on when you're looking at abilities. And I just gave you reasoning behind why I use all those abilities. Okay? Defensively, I'm going to jump right to it. You need to become a MUT master right now. Don't play around. You need to go and become a MUT master. You need to do the requirements. You need to get it, because there is no other card like Pat Tillman in this game. And then once you get him, put Selfless on him so that he can activate your players when you get 5 hit sticks and call it the GGs. Unstoppable Force and Fearmonger, pretty much apples and apples, bruh. Like, they all do the same. Once they get highlighted, put it like this: your opponent's going to be taking a dump in his pants once they get highlighted. So whichever route you wanted to go with it, that's fine. Now, to talk about the abilities, that's a whole different thing, okay? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. This situation right here with edge threat, it makes it almost impossible if you do the right things. If it's a running quarterback and you have a contain, it makes it almost impossible for them to get outside the pocket. As long as you give them space on the outside, don't have them close and you have a running quarterback, because if they're close, they'll automatically run into the lineman, and then the running back, who is the wide receiver at that point, well, not the wide receiver, the quarterback, will run around outside of it once you have them set too close. So try to spread the line and give your player a chance to use edge threat. Otherwise, if they have that space, the edge threat players, they're coming right in. Highly recommended. Power specialist, highly recommended. Because this dude right here, he's coming in no matter what. Some plays, he just runs right in, and I don't even know what he's doing. He just runs right in, and I'm like, yo, what is he, bro, LT, you all right? You need some crack? Like, bruh, I don't know what he's doing. But he comes right in. Now, under pressure actually works. You will see that players will react to him being closer to them, and the quarterback will throw the ball with more errant throws because of under pressure. Last year, it did not work. As far as I've been seeing, whenever he's really, really close, it's usually a ball that's thrown off target. Just to kind of give you some insight to that. And remember, I'm pointing out specifics for the players that I have. So you saw what we have for Von Miller. Okay, well, I mean for Lawrence Taylor. Now we're going to go to Von Miller. Okay, with Von Miller, I think I gave him pretty much reach elite because I need him to tackle through people's bodies. I love it. It turns me on, bro. When a dude is getting blocked and he just tackles you anyway, it's unbelievable. Obviously, edge threat is good stuff. And then, again, with under pressure, it's there once again because those are very, very unique things that you will need. All right? Now that that's all said and done as far as abilities And the X factors, like I told you, you could pick either one. Fearmonger, if you like it, Unstoppable Force, they all pretty much do the same things once they're activated. With Pat Tillman, this is very, very important, okay? And this is why I'm encouraging each and every one of you guys to become MUT Masters. Enforcer, Reach Elite, so you can reach right through people's bodies, and Lurker. He will jump through the stadium like it's Madden 13 all over again with Lurker. It's unbelievable. And a lot of people in my stream were recommending it, and I just was like, yo, whatever. Nah, he jumps high as F. He is in the air. Sometimes he don't even come down. Sometimes I think he's a bird, like he just stays there. That's how high he jumps. Those are highly recommended abilities that I need for you guys to get if you can possibly get it. Okay, the top 3. As we go on and other players are able to get other things like Enforcer and different things like that, we will, talk about that at a later date. But those are just some of the key players you should have on both sides of the ball when it comes to offense and defense. As far as special teams, remember, these chemistries don't count towards the other abilities and stuff, so you can have it for special teams. Once I get my training up, I'm going to probably go with the slower kick meter with focus kicker, just to make sure that I never have to worry about missing a kick. That's what I would worry about with that as far as that goes. And that's pretty much some of the best abilities that are available right now that I'm using and it works very, very well for me. So if I were you, I would go ahead and check it out, do more research. If there's something else in particular that you need me to touch on, please feel free to go ahead and leave it in the comments. The community will help you, or if I'm able to see the comment, I will as well. All right. Also remember that you should be activating your abilities and all the X factors on the right side of your screen. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching. Hopefully you're having an enjoyable day. Keep having that great day, and subscribe and share to GmiasWorld. I'm gonna see you guys and girls next time. One love.